Hey Collective, happy Saturday to you. I hope everybody is having a good day, doing well, and so on and so forth. Enjoying the weather. Hopefully the weather's good wherever you're at. It's a bit blustery here in California, where I'm at, Sacramento. But it's nice, you know, the sun is intense, you know, outside of the shade. But in the shade, it's a little bit nippy because of the wind, but I can handle the heat. But the cold, I don't like the cold much. I never have. I hated cold weather training, but I spent a lot of time in the deserts throughout the world and here in California as well, so I learned how to adapt to that. Stationed partially in 29 Palms, California. It's down south in the Mojave Desert. Literally gets hot enough where you could fry an egg on the asphalt. The asphalt got so hot sometimes it could melt the rubber off tires and everything else. I mean, it got pretty freaking hot out there sometimes. But I can handle the heat. I just can't handle the cold so well, or as well. I've been in some pretty damn cold places. Anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and look at the overall energy. We're closing out the week today. Tomorrow starts a new week, and I'll do a pre-pull for the entire week tomorrow, all 7 days. But what we have here as far as our past energy, we have Yera for Sunday. And to, basically make a long story short, it's basically the results of your earlier efforts now being made manifest, or you're getting your harvest. It's coming in. Now, Nalthus, I always refer to as the yin and yang rune. It tells us about our needs, necessities, delays, resistance, things of that nature. But it also tells us it's the power of the will to overcome conflict and basically resistance that leads to strength. Similarly to tearing down muscle and building it up to make it stronger so it can handle more weight the next, time or session or whatever. Or, healing and stuff after a wound has been opened up. The scar tissue becomes more resilient. All right, and we had that pulled from both Monday and Tuesday. So we're seeing basically that even though all these good things are coming to us through Yera, that we still know that there's going to be certain hurdles, mountains to climb and things like that. It's just keeping us grounded, so to speak, okay? That's what this is telling us, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we get Mighty Thor's rune, Thurisaz, and basically in a nutshell, that's talking about protection more than anything. That was his overall mission and so on. He's a big protector and so on. He deals and fights with the giants, the ice giants and all that kind of stuff. He was half giant, by the way. But it also deals with counsel, luck, the reactive force to do something, or directed force like a laser that we talked about yesterday. Defense, talks about vital eroticism, male fertility, sexuality, regeneration. It talks about all types of things in terms of the materialistic aspects of masculinity, so to speak. Okay. Now on Thursday we started to get some somewhat negative energy coming in through Othala in the reverse. Now Othala in the reverse means recklessness, hassles and frustrations, legal problems. Where we get legalities in Yera that we saw on Sunday, we get legal problems shown in Thursday. So there's continuity there. And just because we get legal problems doesn't mean we're not going to win. Sunday tells us that we are going to be successful, but it is going to be a battle, okay? And for those of you who are going through it or will be going through a legal situation soon, I know I have one. Also, it talks about lack of order, totalitarianism, a sense of boredom, slavery, basically racism, prejudice, poverty. Many, many negative attributes, traits, and characteristics are covered under Othala, okay? So hopefully this is not talking about the collective, but it is something that you're going to have to deal with by somebody else perhaps coming into it. Now, this negative energy carried over into Friday with Ansuz, which is Mighty Odin's rune, but it was in the reverse. And what that means is things such as trickery and deception, some type of interference and misunderstandings, delusion, sense of vanity, manipulation, and someone having their own agenda. Okay? All right, and on, oh, that was Friday, I'm sorry. So pre-Saturday pool, again, that negative energy is carrying over somewhat with Laguz in the reverse. So for today, for the pre-pool, is Laguz in reverse, which means escaping a sense of temptations and greed, going against your conscience, confusion, making wrong decisions, poor judgment, lack of creativity, feeling somewhat in a rut, avoidance of one thing or another, a sense or feeling of withering away, sense of madness and obsession, perhaps despair, perversity, maybe sickness, and even suicide. So I hope, again, this is nobody in my collective. If you are feeling these things and you need somebody to talk to, though, and there's very few or nobody else for you to talk to, if you wish to, talk to me, by all means do so. Reach out to me and I'll respond back to you, okay? Now, to counteract some of these pre-energies that we pulled per day, the overall energy for the week was a very good energy, and that's Eihwaz. Now, Eihwaz represents both death and the rebirth. Now, the death could be a physical death, but more often than not, it talks about the death of a cycle and then being born again in a new cycle, okay? Of course, presuming that you've actually learned your lessons and you passed the test in this cycle so you can move on to the next cycle. Talks about a quest of some type of conflict resolution, success, a sense of strength and reliability, dependability, sense of trustworthiness, enlightenment, endurance, defense, just like Thura says. It talks about motivation, a sense of purpose, which is quite the opposite we got with Thursday and Friday's pool. And also talks about having your sights set on an achievable goal of some kind, and then also an honest man or woman who can be depended on. A man or woman who can be depended on. And be depended on by people as well as, spirit. Spirit can count on you. Now, to echo that, we also got overall with the tarot that augmented Eihwaz nicely, the Empress card. It's a major arcana. It's a powerful tarot card, and it basically is embodying all four queens in the tarot deck. So basically the Empress, whereas the queens and the kings basically preside over a kingdom, the Empress and Emperor preside over the entire, I guess you'd say world, so to speak. I should have chosen my words better. But anyways, what it means basically is the sense of pregnancy, and that doesn't just mean a physical pregnancy. It could be a pregnancy of an idea, perhaps a new business endeavor, something of that nature. So creativity and creation also come to play into this. Sense of abundance and fertility. Maybe good parenting skills are also covered under that. Wealth and abundance, influence or influential, being magnetic, drawing good things to you, being very inspirational, a source of good news and change. So very, very positive overall energy for the week. And although we had a couple of days where we had some hurdles that we obviously had to get over, or that are being shown here, okay? Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and start off. And I'd like to apologize. Yesterday, without even realizing that, I didn't even pull the runes. I went into what I just did, recapping on all the energy, and then I pulled the tarot and the other oracle cards, and I completely spaced out. I apologize. sometimes because I have so much on my mind, so many things going on simultaneously, I do have a tendency to space out. And again, I apologize. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pull some tarot for today for the collective. Can I get a past energy for the collective, please? Past energy for the collective, and thank you. Past energy for the collective. Indeed. Past energy for the collective. All right. Go. One more. I just pulled a spread for myself. So give me some ideas where I sit in the grand scheme of things before pulling one for you guys. Okay. Trying to give some direction. Alright. So, what is the past energy for the collective, please? Alright, past energy is the Five of Wands. Five of Wands, that's fire there. And it talks about the presence of conflict, competition, friction, chaos, rivalry, and disagreements. Now that goes hand in hand with Thursday through Saturday's rune pull, okay? It talks about exactly the same type of negative energies there. Now, from my experience, what I'm going through, there may be people who are literally in a secret competition with you without you even being aware of it. For whatever reason, envy, jealousy, ego, I don't know what motivates people to do things like that, honestly. But that's what's happening in my life. So it could be also happening in the collectives as well. You may not even be aware of it, okay? So just reflect on it, meditate on it, and see what comes of that. At the bottom, we get the Knight of Pentacles, okay? So the Knight of Pentacles talks about laboring towards your goals. That's what we're all doing, I presume. Diligence, hard work, long-term goals, and perseverance. That's what it's all about, baby. Okay? We have to actually plant those seeds. We have to do the work, make the effort, and everything else to make our dreams come true. You know, the universe will catch us. All we got to do, we got to jump, and they'll catch us. Okay? But we have to put the effort forward. All right. Can I get another energy, please, for the present? What is the present energy? Now, hopefully you guys are indeed working towards your goals. And sure, there's always going to be obstacles. You're going to be tested. The bigger that your desire is, the bigger that your biggest thing that you're trying to manifest or whatever is going to more or less dictate the size of the hurdle that's, or the test, if you will, that's placed before you as well. Anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and again, one more please for the present. Thank you. Oh, that's pretty good. King of Cups. King of Cups. So that tells us, now remember, Cups is basically emotions and so on. It talks about rationality and emotions in balance. It talks about a sense of calmness, faithfulness, a sense of being friendly and mature, a sense of wisdom, and also caring for others. At the bottom, we have the Lovers. So very, very good. So now I could tell a short story, starting with the King of Cups, and then working all the way to the bottom of the deck with the Lovers being the outcome, okay? So that's why I always show the top and the bottom to give you some basic idea of which way we're headed, okay? So in the first one for the past, we started off with the Five of Wands, but we're heading into the Knight of Pentacles, where we're actually getting past all the conflict, working diligently towards our goals. In the present, we're actually starting to, or this could be somebody that you're actually working with, could be you. It's a masculine energy, but that could be a woman that we're talking about too in her masculine energy, okay? Now, it doesn't talk about sex. It just talks about masculine and feminine attributes, so to speak, characteristics, okay? So, and again, that's your emotions being in balance and everything else, and that's a perfect place to be at for manifestation. especially if you're looking to bring in love of some kind. Okay, so if that's what you're trying to manifest, it's telling you that it's on its way. Okay, and we've been seeing that a lot over the last couple of weeks. So we have somebody from your past coming in, it looks like, and we also have perhaps a divine union that's coming in. That's not to say the past can't be your divine union. It's up to you if you decide to take them back and try to work things out or not. And it's going to differ for each and every one of you. I don't know your situations individually. Okay? So, again, use your intuition. Trust your gut. Listen to what they say and trust what you're feeling as you're with that person. Because your body's trying to tell you something. It may be a warning of some kind, or it could be something that's saying this person indeed has truly changed. Okay? Alright, so what is the future energy for the collective when they see this, still midnight of that particular day? What's the future, please? And thank you. One more. Alright. Future energy is the Page of Wands. Again, fire energy. So it talks about the arrival of good news. Now this could be the lover, it could be something else. It talks about a sense of exploration and charisma, excitement, sense of freedom and creativity. Okay? And all of those contradict the negative energies that we got Thursday through today. So that's very, very good. You just keep working hard, focusing on the right now. There is no later on. There is no past. There's only the right now. Okay? And I don't have enough time to really elaborate too much on what that means. I just say read The Power of Now, that book, and I forget who the author is right now because it didn't dawn on me at all until just now. He's got a foreign name, whether it's German or whether it's I don't know. I don't know exactly. I can't remember. I wish I could. I'd like to give the guy credit for everything that he does, and I just screwed up. Well, I started to shuffle, and I didn't look at the bottom, so sorry about that. But Page of Wands is still a very positive, tarot card for our future. Here, let me go ahead. Can I get one for the actual end, please, too? I know it's a little unorthodox, but you'll help direct me so we can get an overall picture of what the future looks like, please. And I'm going to pull, not the top, but the bottom, please. Place the card properly at the bottom for me, please, and thank you. To complete this picture for our future. One more. And thank you. All right. Damn it. All right, so it says mentally or emotionally feeling overwhelmed, stress, anxiety, drained, fear, and burnout. Well, now that could be because maybe we're a little bit anxious about starting a new relationship. Maybe we just got hurt badly and, we're having some issues still in the realm of trust. And that's something you have to actually to deal with. It's just like many people never come to terms with their childhood wounds. And they carry those childhood wounds into each and every relationship. And, they expect something outside of themselves to heal those things instead of them going inside and healing those wounds first. And it's unfair when you think about it because you can't put any of that on anybody else out there. That's something you have to deal with first. And it's the same thing with these wounds that we acquire at times with previous relationships when people have deceived you. And it's especially hard when you have, let's just say, a whole long list of people who've deceived you. In fact, and this is something I'm currently trying to reconcile with, and I'm still in the middle of it, unfortunately. Whereas you have even the closest people in your life who have potentially deceived you. I'm talking about people that are very close to you, and that's all I'm going to say. And it's a very, very difficult wound to heal, especially as it's still persisting. But for those of you who've already concluded that ordeal, and you're in the process of healing, again, if you want any type of prayer or any type of, assistance or whatever the case may be. I do give good advice for the most part. I've been told that many times, and it is part of what I'm here to do. And if I don't have any good advice for you, I can at the very least pray for you, okay? So let me know if you need any help in that regard, and I'll be happy to do so. All right, with that being said, and before I forget myself again, let's go ahead and pull out the runes and see where we're at in terms of that. Now, I've already prayed and asked Odin. I also solicit the help and the guidance of the Norns. Now, the Norns are the equivalent of the Greek and Roman fates, if you will, those who weave the destiny of every man, woman, child, and in fact the world in general, the universe. I call upon the many gods and goddesses, and not just of the Nordic belief system, but all who would give aid and assistance and guide. And I ban, I put up a hedge of protection against any form of trickery, Loki-like spirits. Only the truth will be reigning supreme here in these readings for my collective. Only truth, please. And I ask mighty Thor to set a hedge around me to go ahead and protect that very thing. Okay, what is the present energy for my collective? And thank you. The mighty Gebo, the wishing rune. All right, that's a great way to start for today. Present energy. Now keep in mind, Gebo, even though it's the letter G, and I know it looks like an X, it stands for basically reciprocity, both giving and receiving, and that's gifts of every type. And that's also giving and receiving in unions with one another, divine unions and friendships and things of that nature. So genuine reciprocity, love, attention, to unselfishness, things of that nature. It's a great rune, okay? All right, now with that in mind, let's get some more influences for today, please. More influences. What are some of the influences that we have to be aware of? And thank you, please. Thank you. Okay. Eihwaz. I think that's how it's pronounced. Eihwaz. It's the letter E in the alphabet. It can't be Eihwaz, because that's the overall energy of the week. So Eihwaz, E-H-W-A-Z. And basically that talks about union, okay? It talks about working together as a team. It can mean like two horses pulling a carriage, or the horse and the rider. The rider has to know what he's doing, and he has to be in stride with that horse, or he's going to hurt himself. Or even if it's a woman, it can cause him some pain. It's going to be a difficult journey. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. You have to work together in order to, to have a cohesive and smooth journey. And that's what it also talks about. It talks about partnerships and trust, loyalty, cooperation, any form of movement or progress. Okay? So that too is a very good rune. And that's what we want. We want to move forward. We don't want to be in stagnation. We have to get out of our comfort zone sometimes. Okay? And sometimes if it feels uncomfortable, that means you're on the right track. Give me another influence, please. Another influence for the collective. What else do we need to be made aware of? And thank you. So maybe you need basically to work together with somebody specifically, in order to get something resolved. All right, well, we have Dagaz. Dagaz. All right, so Dagaz is a good rune. Okay, and basically it's one of the 9 that cannot either be seen. It'll seem the same way no matter how you pull it out. So you have to go with your gut. And in this case, again, I didn't get a negative feeling at all. So in fact, I got a little bit, of a positive jolt when I pulled it out. So what does Dagaz mean? Basically in the upright, well, it means transformation, balance, ambition, growth, again, it represents in some part, way or form, the culmination of all three of these other positive runes. So what we got here is 3 very positive runes, okay? And they're all talking about cooperation, working with whatever team that you have, perhaps your spouse, a loved one, whoever it might be that you're working with, whether it's at a job, whether it's in the raising of your family, or, you know, completing some endeavor or something, you know, with your friends. It could mean a million different things, but it talks about working together as a team in order to get this done, being willing to give as well as receive. Reciprocity, basically, is what we're talking about. All right, so finally, can I get a future rune, please, for my collective? What is the future? Anytime that they see this particular reading and midnight tonight. And thank you. Thank you. All right, so we have, Wunjo. And Wunjo is the wishing rune. Okay? That means joy, bliss. It talks about peace and harmony, affection, blessings, and desire. Who doesn't want any of those things in their life, right? I think we all want more of that kind of stuff. So again, as we can see, despite the hurdles that we had to get over Thursday through, today in part, and that's not to say you're over the hump quite yet, but when you get over the hump, we have some very good things awaiting us. All right, now with that being said, let's go ahead and pull an animal oracle, see what the animal kingdom has to tell us. All the guides, all the oracles, all the totems, the animals who protect our ancestry, the animals who have been assigned to protect us specifically, and of course the past loved ones that we've had in our life, assuming that you are a pet lover and you've had dogs and cats and birds and reptiles and I don't know, even freaking spiders, I guess, all those things can be of assistance to us in terms of their guidance in the astral. They can see that things that we cannot see. They can provide assistance that we in this three-dimensional plane of existence are not aware. So, what do we have? The swan speaks of grace. Okay? Says, you will glide across the waters of my soul. Bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with both dignity and the spirit of beauty. Well, that's a beautiful card, okay? They are majestic birds. I believe that they mate for life. And there are animals in the animal kingdom that do just that. So again, they have characteristics that are usually associated with humans. In some cases, more human-like than a lot of humans. So I usually post on, Facebook all the time, animal videos that show sometimes their very human-like behavior. One animal saving another species of animal from certain death, or, maybe even caring for another animal, or just showing great love, for, their particular mate or whatever the case may be. So I have a deep fondness for nature, for the animal world. All right, so let's go ahead and look at hidden truths. Let's see what hidden truths need to be shared with my collective, please. What do they need to know, Lord? What do they need to know, guides, angels? What do they need to know? What does the collective need to know, please? Thank you. 2 more. Oop. One more. I'm afraid to contact you. Okay? If somebody came to mind when you heard that, that's probably who it is. If nobody came to mind, well, it may not resonate with you. Remember, these are general readings, so they're not going to resonate with every single person, at least on every aspect of what I speak of. If you're watching this, some part of this was meant for you to see. Be assured of that. You have to decide what that is. All right, one more, please, for the collective. One more hidden truth, and then we'll look at love. Hidden truth, please, for the collective. One more. Thank you. Hidden truth. It says, you came closer than anyone. And again, whoever, assuming somebody did, comes to mind, that's probably who it is that's saying that to themselves. They want you to know that in the ethers, okay? They may never get a chance to tell you that physically, but whoever it was that came up in your mind or you felt in your heart, that's probably who it is. I know exactly who this is for me. Very confused soul, unfortunately. Alright. Now, that being said, now currently going through it. Let's get some love for the collective, please. Love for the collective, and thank you. Love for the collective, and thank you. What does the collective need to know concerning love? We had some very good ones yesterday. Let's see if that energy carries forward today to go along with the lover card that we got in our present. That would be nice. One more, please. One more. There we go. Okay. Oh, damn. The axe. Says breakup, separation. Got to stop the patterns. Silent treatment and abandonment. Now again, that may or may not be for you specifically, collective. It could be for somebody within your energetic sphere of influence as well. Maybe that person coming back to you. I don't know. It's hard to say, but you're going to have to decide that for yourselves, okay? All right. So we all are supposed to learn our lessons, not repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. This is why you really have to be diligent. When somebody has shown you who they are, you have to believe them, okay? No matter what they say, no matter how much they may have changed, you have to say that their character has still shown through. We all know still what right and wrong is, even if they've changed, you know? That's not to say that you can't give somebody a second chance. That's up to you. I'm just saying that if they've done some things that are pretty horrendous, that shows you what they're capable of doing. And you have to decide whether you believe they've actually overcome that or not. Okay, one more, please, for the collective in love. And thank you. Oh boy, well, this is echoing the same. Karmic relationship. Okay, it says fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving yourself. Alright, so it probably sounds like it is for my collective out there. Somebody that you probably were here to learn some lessons, you know, by. You know, we hear terms all the times in the spiritual world about things such as divine unions, soulmates, and we hear about, what's the other term that's always used? Not soulmate, but twin flames. Now you have to distinguish. There's a difference between a twin flame, if you will, and a soulmate. Now, soulmates can be non-love related, or I should say non-romantic love related. That could be a spouse, yes. It could be a lover, of course. But it could also be a sibling. It could be a mother, a father. It could be a mentor of some type. It could be one of your own children, for example. So somebody that is very edifying for you and them personally. A twin flame, on the other hand, is somebody you're supposed to learn lessons from. Somebody who's going to trigger you. Somebody who you are definitely going to trigger. And that's to basically open you up to making the necessary changes. If you are really embarking on this journey, it will help you to reflect and then see what it is that you need to heal about yourself. That's what a twin flame is all about. It's not about you being with that person, okay? You may be with that person, but there's nothing saying that you have to be with one another. You are there to teach each other a vital lesson, to spark that lesson, so to speak, okay? And again, I'm just coming out of one of those. So it's a very harsh lesson sometimes, a very difficult lesson indeed. So, but it is meant to teach you something. And if you are willing to learn, then you can move out of that cycle. And then perhaps maybe your soulmate will indeed show up. Okay? So that's the difference between soulmates and twin flames. Now, if people have other, I guess you could say, definitions of some of these things, and I don't agree with some of the ones that I've heard. This is the one that makes more sense to me, and is something that I was able to actually go through. So I know that it's, for me, it's a reality, it's a truth. Okay? I have yet to find my soul mate in this life. I've had twin flame. I've never had a soul mate. Okay? I've had some very good, moments with those I've been with, but they were meant to teach me something, and I didn't choose wisely. I chose for the wrong reasons. And we all do, It's a learning process. We have to be able to narrow down what it is we're really looking for and get beyond just being led by our sexual organs, you know what I mean? As a, young man in particular, that's a very powerfully motivating, driving force. And sometimes, no matter even our best efforts, it overcomes our judgment. So I did find my sexual soulmate, so to speak, but other things didn't pan out so well. So that fire got involved with many other things that were not positive. So that's just the way it works. I'm looking for something that is, even keel across the board. Somebody's equally yoked, so to speak, as the Bible speaks of. And I never really understood it to the degree now that I do now, and how important it is to find somebody who you are equally yoked with. Somebody you think not maybe exactly alike, but similarly. You have similar interests, similar goals, similar beliefs. They don't have to be identical, but they should be at least compatible. Otherwise, there's always going to be that door that's open for disruptions and possible dissension and, bitterness and everything else. And I'm here to tell you, you will be tried if that's the case. So it's better to find somebody that you're very compatible with, somebody that you really feel that edifies you, that builds you up, that doesn't consume your energy, but actually, after being with them all day and all night, you feel energized by them, and you really are excited and look forward to being with them. Man, if you can find that, it's worth its weight in gold. Hold on to that. That's, that when that shows up for me, and I know it will some point, I guarantee you I will, and I hope they feel the same. Well, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will, because we will be equally yoked. Okay? All right, well, so we have some hurdles to get over, as we can see at the end of the week, but we have some very, very good stuff that's awaiting for us, including, and trying to put everything into a nutshell, some bliss in the form of Wunjo. Okay? So, excellent stuff here, guys. So, with that being said, as always, I wish you guys victory. I will see you, and not too soon, I hope, in Valhalla. Take care.